Hey everybody, today I'm going to predict the remaining fixtures of a World Cup. I'll start with Uruguay versus Portugal. For me, Uruguay is going to qualify 1-0. The reason why I think it's going to be a low scoring game is that both the teams are very good defensively and both managers play a very conservative brand of football. To be honest, this game could go either way, but I think Uruguay has a bit more structure to their defensive style of play, and although both teams could be dangerous on set pieces because Portugal has Ronaldo, they have Pepe, they have Font, and Uruguay have Godin, they have Jimenez. Although I'm not sure he's going to play, but even if it's Sebastian Cortes that comes in, he's also very good. He's very tall and good in the air. So I think both teams, they match each other in pretty much every category, but I don't know. I have a feeling that Uruguay, very impressive, and they didn't concede a goal in the first round. Portugal, on the other hand, they got quite lucky against Morocco. They could have conceded some penalties. They could have conceded some goal. They conceded a goal against Iran, even though it was a very debatable penalty. So I just think Uruguay has a bit more assurance at the back. So I'm going to go for Uruguay victory 1-0. Then, on to the next game, France versus Argentina. For me, France are the favorites in this match. I think they have better players at every position, except for Messi and maybe Higuain if he does play, because it's not sure he plays. There are some reports that Argentina might play with Pavon and Di Maria on the wings, which means that Argentina would sit back and defend in a compact manner, and they try to beat France on counterattack. I think that's the best way for Argentina to win because France has trouble beating compact defenses. But I do think that France has a bit more talent. I think France, against Australia in the first match, they had trouble beating a compact defense because Deschamps had the wrong formation. I think that Giroud can manhandle Otamendi, and I'm not sure Otamendi will be able to deal with his strength. So, and I think Mbappe coming back in, Griezmann I think is going to have to show up at some point in this World Cup. And even if Messi shows up, I think France have a very good defense. And I'm going to give France 2-0 winners in this match. On to the Brazil versus Mexico game. And to be honest, I think this is a game I'm most looking forward to because Brazil have shown some defensive frailty in their game against Switzerland. So Mexico and Mexico have shown some real firepower against Germany, although they do create chances. They're not the best team at finishing them. So in this game, if they don't have any chances to succeed, they're going to have to really be efficient, because otherwise it's going to be very, very difficult for them. Brazil, I haven't been too impressed by Brazil. Of course, they got the quality. Neymar, I think, is building up game by game, getting better. Willian has been very disappointing on the right side, but I think that's just not his position. He loves to cut back in, whip in a shot, and he's having to do that with his left foot from the right side, and it's just not his game. So I think it's a shame for Brazil that Douglas Costa is not fit, because I think he would have taken Willian's spot, especially after Willian's performances in the first couple of games. Coutinho has been Brazil's best player by far, and I think he's going to have a big impact on this game. Mexico, I just like that Mexico is going to press Brazil. They're going to try and get at them like they did against Germany, and they're really going to make a game out of it. So I'm going to predict this to be maybe a high-scoring game, maybe 3-1 to Brazil, something like that. So very, very eager to watch this game because I think it's going to be a great one. So Brazil 3 and Mexico 1. On to Belgium against Japan. Again, this should be a great game of football because Belgium loves to play. They love to go forward, and they have probably... Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they have the best attacking force of the World Cup, with Lukaku, with Mertens, with Hazard, with De Bruyne. Just quality in the final third. Japan, on the other hand, they've really impressed me because they play a great team football. They don't have the best players, but they know how to play with each other, and they're very good collectively. So I think that's actually very important, and I think they will nick a goal against Belgium because Belgium have shown some issues defensively. Because I haven't been really convinced by Boyata, especially with ball at his feet. He has trouble clearing the ball in a tidy manner. So I think Belgium will win because they're just too good for Japan. But I think it will be a high-scoring game, and I think it will be another game that will be worth a watch. So just like just like Brazil, Mexico, I'm going to predict Belgium to win 3-1, and I would actually predict Lukaku to score 2 goals. So Belgium 3-1. On to the next side of the draw. So for me, Spain is better than Russia, but it's not going to be an easy game. Russia in front of our home crowd. Golovin's going to be back into the team sheet for Russia. Spain defensively have been a bit worrying because De Gea, he's not been good. Even before the World Cup, in the game versus Switzerland, he made a big blunder. He made another one against Portugal, and he just has not looked confident. When you see him with Manchester, you're like, wow, he's like a wall. We're not going to be able to score. Like that Arsenal versus Manchester game earlier this season when he made 16 saves or something like that. In this World Cup, he looks fragile. I'm not sure why, but he does not look confident. So for me and Spain, offensively, they're not as sharp as they used to be against compact teams like we saw against Morocco. But I think they're too good for Russia. I'm going to think Russia's going to score a goal, and Spain is probably going to win. I'll say 2-1 for Spain. Not a huge victory, but they'll get the job done. Croatia versus Denmark. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game because Denmark has trouble scoring, and Croatia is a very strong defensive unit, very tough to break through. I don't think it's going to be a very open game. I don't think there's going to be many goals. I think Croatia has more individual talent with Modric, Mandzukic, and so on. So I think Croatia's going to win this game 1-0 or maybe 2-0 if Denmark has to push at the end of the match to score an equalizer. So I think Croatia is gonna nick this one. They've been one of the most impressive teams so far in the World Cup. Just as a unit, they've been very good. Then on to Sweden versus Switzerland. Again, for me, Sweden has the same issue as Denmark. They're going to have trouble scoring. Of course, I say this after they've won 3-0 after beating Mexico 3-0, so, you know, they can score some goals. But Switzerland is a very good team. Defensively, they've looked good. A good center-back pairing. And they have some quality players also in the final third. I'm not a big fan of Seferovic because I think he doesn't put the ball in the back of the net enough, and he's just, yeah, I mean, he's not a bad player, but he's just not clinical. So that's a big worrying sign for Switzerland. But they do have Shaqiri, who looks really good in this World Cup so far. So I think Switzerland's just a bit better than Sweden, and I'm going to predict Switzerland to win this game. Maybe 1-0. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game as well. Maybe a couple of fouls in that game as well with a couple of bookings. So, Switzerland. Hopefully I have enough space to write it in. Yes, I do. And now Colombia, England. I think this is going to be a great match. And I think Colombia... I've been very disappointed by Colombia, to be honest. The first game, it's hard to say anything about it because they're only down to 10 men. But second game against Poland was much better, but Poland was a very weak side. And again, against Senegal, I was very disappointed. I thought I thought Senegal was a better team, to be honest with you. They put Colombia under pressure. They were not able to beat the press. They had to play a very direct style of football. And the only player who was really good was Quintero, who was able to break the Senegalese defensive and midfield line a couple times to release that pressure, to be able to go into the opponent's half of the pitch. And And one of Colombia's strong suit is actually set pieces because we got some very, very big guys in Davinson Sanchez, Mina, Falcao is very good with his head. But that's also one of England's strong suits. So I'm not sure that Colombia is going to be able to make a difference in that aspect of the game. So for me, England's just a better team overall. I think against Belgium they did lose, but it was a game that was a bit weird to watch because neither team was really giving 100% until the second half, and even then Rashford missed a big chance. Actually Rashford's one of his really key area of improvement is finishing, because it's not the first time I've seen him miss a one-on-one. With Manchester United, he's also missed a couple of one-on-ones, so he's going to have to improve on that area. But for me, England's just a better team. Harry Kane's probably going to have a big impact on this game. Plus, he probably knows Davinson Sanchez playing with him at Tottenham, so they probably played against each other in training. I think Lingard's going to have a big impact on this game as well. He's been very good so far. And Sterling's going to wake up. I think he's going to give trouble to the Colombian defense with his direct style of game. And he might, actually, I might predict this. I think Sterling actually might get a penalty in this match. He might make the Colombian team commit a foul inside the box, and Harry Kane will score it. So I'm going to go with England. And I think England's going to win this game 2-0.